Hello, today is not just an ordinary day. I have been invited to the opening of the Olympics. Bonjour, come in. Let me invite you to my world for a moment. Each morning in Fontainebleau, my life is exactly how I curated it to be. Look at this soft morning light. Isn't it divine? Each morning, I treat myself to a lovely glass of water, almost like my own spa treatment. It feels so indulging, but it really is the perfect way to start the day. First off, I start my mornings with a gentle stretch. Maintaining my vitality is non-negotiable, especially at my age when style and substance truly intersects. Of course, a good book is essential to start the day right. It keeps me connected to the world while I'm carving out my little world right here in France. So let me show you my breakfast. It's simple, but oh so delicious. A yogurt with fresh seasonal fruit. Look at that composition. It is visually elegant as it is tasty. I start off my day every day with my decaf coffee. In fact, most people would prefer me to have my coffee before I leave my house. Now I've learned that taking care of my skin is non-negotiable. My skincare routine is a moment of pure indulgence. My current obsession, typology. Their A33 serum is a miracle in a bottle. It's for dark spots and firmness, while the T31 Glow Drops with aloe vera is my weapon. And my L32 Radiance Serum, this is the finishing touch that gives me my je ne sais quoi glow. Come on, Max, come on. Look who's here, it's Max. He's reminding me it's time for that morning walk. I'll be back in a few minutes. Well, we're back. Finally, I planned my day with a little traditional and a little modern using my Notion app. And I'm responding to the viewers that after last video signed up for my community. You left me such heartwarming stories, and I'm responding to you. If you haven't become a member yet, the link is below under the description. Remember, living well is the best revenge. And here in France, I'm not just living, I'm thriving. Who says you can't rewrite your story at any age? In fact, I would argue it's the perfect time. I would love if you'd write me a comment below and let me know how you would like your life to change. Today is the opening celebration of the Olympics, and I'm determined to celebrate in style. But before that, I need to pop into town for a couple of errands. And I have an interview for a publication. Then I was invited to a special gallery exhibition in Versailles. Then of course, the Olympic opening ceremony. You know, it's not all about the athletes, although they have really done so much training, but it's also about the joie de vivre that the French offer, the unity, the friendship. That's what it's about. For this perfect occasion, I've curated a beautiful ensemble. For this momentous occasion, I've curated an ensemble that perfectly captures the essence of Parisian timelessness. First, the foundation, a pair of crisp white jeans. They're not just any white jeans, mind you, but a perfect blend of structure and ease, hugging curves at all the right places, while allowing for that nonchalant French girl slouch. White, like the Olympic flag, symbolizes purity and new beginnings. How fitting for this global celebration of human achievement. Of course, no French-inspired ensemble would be complete without a touch of blue. That's why I've selected a stunning blue and white striped blouse, reminiscent of the sailors of Saint-Tropez and the artists of Montmartre. The vertical stripes elongate the silhouette, while the airy cotton whispers promises of Mediterranean breezes. Now let's talk accessories, for as any fashion devotee knows, it's the detail that elevates an outfit from merely pleasant to positively sublime. Cradled in the crook of my arm is a Teddy Blake bag in the most delightful shade of azure. This isn't just a bag, it's a statement piece, a testament to craftsmanship and an homage to the clear skies we hope will bless the athletes. The foundation of my look is a pair of exquisite brown Italian woven leather loafers in a rich earthy brown, handcrafted by skilled artisans. Time for the final touch, a spritz of Hermès perfume. The scent, a complex bouquet of roses and oud, wraps around me like an invisible cloak of sophistication. It's the olfactory equivalent of a gold medal, if you will. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a day to conquer and a life to savor. Shall we meet later to discuss my struggle with self-confidence? I know just the place. Before heading out for the day, I had the pleasure of being interviewed by a publication about curating an authentic French experience for travelers.
Hello, bonjour. I wanted to talk to you just for a little bit, and I happen to be in Fontainebleau in the Diana Gardens, and it's gorgeous here, and especially now because I love flowers. So I just thought this would be a great time to just catch up with you and talk to you. I wanted to talk to you about my new branding. I'm just trying to elevate what we've been doing in the past, because a lot of times in the past I was just sitting at my sofa talking, and now I'm trying to take you around France and show you different places and doing different things with you, just trying to up the game a little bit, as you would say. And I don't know, I'm loving it. I love the new branding, I love the new approach. So I hope you do too. And if you do, let me know below in the comments. I just want to talk to you about what's been happening with me. It's been a couple of days that have been really hot, so we stay in front of the fan. That's me, Kitty, and Max. And when it's 84, 85, it's okay. But when it gets into the 90s, we are strictly in front of the fan. And I go to the store the first thing in the morning, and I'm home, and I am in the house all day long. So that gives me time to work on my writing, work on my scripts for the videos. So it does make it possible for me to stay at home and enjoy what I'm doing. And I am in love with Versailles. I have to tell you that. I'm not saying I'm moving, I'm just saying I really love Versailles. It's just a little bit more convenient to get to various places. And Max and I travel well together, and he's just as spoiled as ever. And went to a cocktail party recently that we put on the video and had a good time there. But I want to tell you, since the Olympics started putting up all their barriers, I haven't been going into Paris very much because it's hard to get around. You can't even walk on certain streets. So I hope when it's all over with that I can go back to Paris and go back to my favorite haunts, and also find some new ones that I can take you to and talk to you about. Also, I want to let you know that I've been doing a lot more reading, especially since the heat. And I've been reading about Anna Wintour. She is the editor of Vogue, and she's been the editor for a long time. And boy, I love the biography. It was almost like so many things you didn't know about her, you know, that she probably wouldn't tell you herself. And then I've been reading a book called Yellowface, and I'll talk to you more about that. But I've really been trying to indulge myself with articles from the New Yorker, articles from Vogue, a little bit more fashion update, and just keeping myself aligned with what's going on in the world more than what's going on in my world. And so I think it's been an interesting month, catching up on some reading and just really enjoying myself. And I'd like to know more about the fashion. In fact, I've also been reading or online documentaries about how fashion began. Do you know when fashion began, they used bones to clip on like little buttons? I had no idea. So I think I need to be a little bit more up to date on things like that. So I'm trying, and I'll talk to you later.
As I sit by the tranquil banks of the river, I can't help but feel a sense of reverence for this moment. The Château de Fontainebleau looms in the distance, its elegant silhouettes a testament to centuries of history. This daily ritual, this stolen moment of solitude before the busy day, has become my anchor in the whirlwind of my new life. There's something magical about putting pen to paper in this setting. It's as if the very essence of France, its romance, its artistry. As I jot down my thoughts, my hopes, my little victories and challenges, I feel a sense of clarity washing over me. It's in these quiet moments of reflection that I often find the inspiration for my next adventure. Today, as I was sitting journaling and reflecting, I decided that I want to share with you a topic that is deeply personal to me, the journey of self-confidence. As many of you know, I made the bold decision to move to France at a later age in life, a choice that required me to dig deep into my reserves of courage and self-assurance. But what you may not know is that this journey began long before I set foot on French soil. Growing up, I was what they called pleasingly plump. It was a term that, trust me, felt anything but pleasant. I dreamed of being a twirler in school, of dancing with abandon and grace. My mother even hired a tutor to help me perfect my routine for the tryouts. But when the day came, I found myself paralyzed by self-doubt. I made excuses, a hurt ankle, a forgotten step, but the truth was, I lacked the confidence to put myself out there. It wasn't my face that I struggled with. It was everything from the waist down. My legs, my hips, my calves, they all felt too large, too cumbersome. I remember I went to have some clothes altered, and I remember the lady making a comment about my large calves. Oh goodness, from then on, I squeezed into a girdle for high school, hoping to smooth out the curves that I so desperately wanted to hide. This journey of self-confidence may not always be easy, but it is always worth it, and I am so grateful to have you all along for the ride. Together we can inspire each other to live our best lives, to chase our dreams, and to love ourselves fiercely and unapologetically. Now let's head over to the bakery for lunch and to work on my next article for you. I want to share with you a little delightful treat that I've discovered, and I'm going to prepare it before going off to the gallery. As you might know, I have a real sweet tooth, so I have found, to save a few calories, this wonderful little dessert, and I would like to share it with you. My favorite dessert, of course, is ice cream, but I can't eat ice cream. It's full of sugar, it's full of milk, it's full of all the bad things for you. So let me show you what I do instead of ice cream. I'm so grateful that right here in Fontainebleau, I have an organic store that orders my cottage cheese just for me. And it is a delightful treat. So I'm going to show you how I make my own delectable slice of heaven ice cream. Now the beauty of this ice cream is you can put anything in it you want. I just happen to be one of those people that like a crunch. So this morning I've put together some almonds and some chocolate chips. And that way I'll have that little bit of a crunch, that little bit of a sweetness. But the real base of all of this is maple syrup. Now, some people say they would prefer to use honey. I prefer to use maple syrup. I think it's just a matter of taste. So I pour about a tablespoon of maple syrup in here, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of my chocolate chips in. Then you take your cottage cheese, put it in here. Now you may have a larger appliance at home, like a Cuisinart or something like that, but this is perfectly fine. And I saved my container. You could always use a spoonful of peanut butter. You could always use a couple of strawberries. Just make it what you want to do with it. I think that's good. Now, the one thing I don't add to it is a banana. Because to me, the banana, it only makes it taste like a banana. And I'd rather not have that flavor. I like the crunchiness, and I like the protein that I get with the almonds, and sometimes I even put in some chia seeds. But this is so easy to make. And when it comes to ice cream, I now savor every bite of my cottage cheese ice cream. Now, one trick I've learned: to cover it with saran wrap or anything like that. And I just put it right back in my cottage cheese dish. Yep, that's good. And then I just cover this. And put it in your freezer for about 3 hours. And you're gonna have a delectable dessert. So the topic that's been the discussion of much curiosity and fascination is dating in France. I'll be the first to admit that my experience in this realm has been quite limited, but I do have some stories to share. Let's first talk about the French courtship. You know, their way is very simple. It's all about the art of getting to know each other, savoring each moment, maybe a walk in the park, maybe just holding hands, and maybe your second date may involve a little bit of a dress part. And do you know that the French think that after the 5th or 6th date, if you're still dating, you are a couple? I mean, it's that. So that proves to you that you don't have to have fancy trapping, elaborate plans, just simple people, two people that care about being with each other, and just take it slow. Of course, there's always exceptions to the rule. The young American men I've had the pleasure of dating, despite having lived in France for 10 years, he's managed to maintain a certain je ne sais quoi that keeps him apart from other suitors. Our dates are a mixture of French charm. We may be sipping wine, talking about history, or jetting off to another town just for the fun of it. But alas, just as I knew that our time was special spending with each other, I knew that France was my love. Once I was even proposed to. A gentleman in the United States said he wanted to marry me. He had a home for us and everything. And I said no, because Fontainebleau has had a key to my heart. So I've stayed in Fontainebleau because at the end of the day, the most important relationship we have is with ourselves. And I knew that I needed to honor that. Okay, it's time to go to the gallery. As you know, I'm getting ready to walk out the door, but I need to make sure I have everything in my purse because I'm going to be gone for quite a while. But you know what? I always have people say, Janice, what do you carry in your purse? First of all, always I have my water. So I carry that, and then I have something just in case I get a headache, so I always have my little pill box. And someone gave me this the other day. It is fabulous. It's a little fan. Have you ever seen these? They're wonderful. And then, of course, I have hand cream. CeraVe is really my favorite, and I'm always getting free samples at my pharmacy here in Fontainebleau. And always a charger for my phone, because I don't want to be caught with my phone not working. And then, just in case I meet a friend, might want to share a little chocolate. But I have to tell you the most unusual thing that I take. I take a toothbrush. Because you know what? After eating chocolate or eating anything, I like to make sure I don't walk out of the restroom with food in my mouth. So I always take my little toothbrush. My lipstick, of course, Charlotte Tilbury, lovely, doesn't melt in the heat. And last but not least, Cottage, 50 SPF. Always carry a little bit of that because you never know. It's really important that we keep this in our purse that we can use it over and over again. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to go.
So, Janice, are you ready for some questions from your audience?
Of course.
Okay. Did you ever imagine that at this stage of your life, you would be starting a completely new career and chapter? Most people are in the mentality of retirement while you're creating a whole new reality for yourself.
Absolutely not. I had no intention of doing anything but just retiring, doing a little work here, a little work there. I never dreamt it would be like this.
Can you describe a typical day in your life? How does it differ from your life in the United States?
Well, number one, I don't have a car, so I don't go to get my coffee. I make my coffee. And then when I do go out, stores do not open up till 10 a.m. So I have time to do things around the house. But when I do go out, I make sure that lipstick's on, and I make sure a little bit of makeup's on, and I'm dressed appropriately.
All right, I'm just gonna get a little bit closer to make sure that we can hear you well.
Okay.
You've mentioned the importance of embracing change. What advice would you give to women who are hesitant to make big life transitions?
Absolutely go for it. Don't let anyone hold you back, because you don't want to be sitting in the old folks' home going, darn, I wish I had done that. I mean, you don't have to move to France, but you all have a dream. You all have something you want to do.
How do you hope to see the conversation around aging evolve in the coming years?
I think I'd like to have less conversation about aging in the upcoming years. But what I would like to see, I would like to see more women using their ageism, buying clothes that are appropriate. I would love to have brands with clothing that it's appropriate for anyone over 60 plus. You know, our days of wearing miniskirts are over, but those days of being charming and looking pretty, they're not over yet.
What's the most unexpected way that your life has changed?
Goodness, there's so many. I mean, the way I wake up in the morning is different. The food I eat is different, you know. I've even now learned how to make cottage cheese ice cream, you know, but I've learned how to slow down, be more concerned about what's going in my body, and my exercising has definitely changed. If I'm not walking, then I'm doing Pilates. But there's just so many things that change. I mean, I just really couldn't list them all.
How do you envision the next chapter of your life unfolding?
I want to have more time with women that have traveling in common, just like I do. And I want to have more women gathering together, and let's talk about courage, and let's talk about traveling, and let's talk about making that move, not necessarily a physical move, but making that move mentally out of where you've been, and just embracing like-minded people.
Well, thank you so much for answering your audience's most pressing questions.
You're very welcome. And if you would like to get a response from me, leave a comment below, and I'd be glad to do so. Au revoir. Today I had the immense pleasure of sharing with you my thoughts on an extraordinary exhibition at the Château de Versailles. As an avid equestrian myself, I was absolutely thrilled to discover Horse in Majesty, a sweeping tribute to the roles and uses of horses in European society from the 16th to the 20th century. As I stepped into the exhibition, I was immediately transported to a world where horses reigned supreme.
The sheer scale and beauty of the works on display were breathtaking, a testament to the incredible importance that horses held in the lives of aristocrats and royalty. As a former horse owner and rider, I felt a deep connection to the intimate portraits of beloved equine companions. The collection of horse portraits belonging to Charles XI of Sweden was particularly moving, a reminder of the profound bond that can exist between humans and these magnificent creatures. Of course, no exploration of horses in art would be complete without a nod to the intersection of art and science. I was particularly fascinated by the anatomical studies on display, the iconic early drawings by Leonardo da Vinci, exhibited together for the first time. It was a powerful reminder of the enduring fascination that horses have held for artists and scientists alike. As I walked through the exhibition, I couldn't help but feel a deep sense of connection to these incredible animals. Horses have been a part of my life for as long as I can remember, from my earliest riding lesson to the countless hours spent caring for my own beloved steeds. To see their beauty and importance celebrated on such a grand scale was truly a gift. And so, my lovelies, I urge you to seize this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If you find yourself in Versailles up until November the 3rd, make sure to carve out some time to visit Horse and Majesty. Whether you are a lifelong equestrian or simply someone who appreciates the beauty and grace of these magnificent creatures, I promise you won't be disappointed. I wish I could have spent hours in this gallery, but I must make the next train to Paris to attend the opening ceremony. It is now a couple of days later, and wow, what a ceremony. It was a spectacular display of artistry, athleticism, and unity. I decided not to film it because A, too many people, and B, I wanted to live in the moment. I found myself deeply moved by Celine Dion and Lady Gaga. You see, both of these remarkable women have faced their fair share of health challenges, and yet there they were, shining bright on the world stage, their voices soaring with passion and strength, and a powerful reminder that our struggles do not define us, that we are capable of overcoming them, even the greatest obstacles. There was Celine Dion belting out the beautiful song by Edith Piaf, and then Lady Gaga singing the song by Zizi Jean-Marie, and just paying homage to the heart of the French. I just thought the performances were mind-blowing. And let me tell you about my experience about being there in person. There really wasn't a queue. It was like a mob of joyful people. You know, we were like 3 inches apart. And what really struck me, there was no intrusion. We were all just happy to be there. And then it started raining. And all of a sudden, umbrellas came up to cover other people, not just the people they were with. It was a small gesture, but one that just showed the spirit and the compassion that permeated the people that were around us. Of course, no event of this magnitude is without its controversies. I know there's been some debate about the opening ceremony, with some claiming that it was a mockery of the Last Supper. But I have to disagree. The artistic display was actually a representation of the Feast of Dionysus, a celebration of the Greek god of wine, fertility, and the theater. It was a nod to the rich cultural heritage that has shaped our world, and a reminder of the power of art to bring people together. And remember, the Olympics began in Greece, so this opening scene makes perfect sense. I encourage you to look beyond the surface level controversies and instead focus on the beauty and unity that events like the Olympics can inspire. In a world that can feel so divided, it's a precious reminder that we are all part of a global community, and we are stronger when we come together in celebration and solidarity. Before I say au revoir, I would like to extend a special invitation to you This journey we share to you is just a beginning, and I would be thrilled if you would join me for more adventures in a beautiful world of Janice in France. I've created a lovely little corner on the internet, janiceinfrance.com, where you can immerse yourself in sights, sounds, and stories of my French life. It's a place where we can connect, share dreams, and inspire each other to embrace new beginnings, no matter our age. And for those of you yearning for a deeper connection, I invite you to become part of our cherished community. Here you will find exclusive content, exclusive stories, and even invitations to special events. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. It's where I share those secrets, spontaneous moments that make life here so special. I would also appreciate it if you would like this video and write a comment to let me know that you did enjoy it. Remember, it's never too late to write a new chapter in your story, whether you're dreaming of a life abroad or simply seeking to infuse your days with a little more joie de vivre. I'm here to encourage you every step of the way. Until then, au revoir, à bientôt.